Today, I go on a rant. It'd be crazy to expect my high-quality videos for each day of 7 straight uploads. Worse yet when I try to complete them all in 3 days so I can go on vacation. Merry Christmas for maybe day 4 of Webtoon Week. We're talking about lookism. I wanted to complain about this for a while, but now that Google Trends says the new anime I've only watched an episode of has its popularity at an all-time high, it's the perfect time to finally get around to this. A few years ago, a close buddy of mine I've been friends with since we lived on the same street over 10 years ago recommended lookism to me. This was back when I was first getting into webtoons and hadn't seen an awful lot yet. He said it was really funny, so I decided to give it a try. He was right. For those of you who don't know, lookism follows this guy. Daniel Park, they call him in the English webtoon. I can't remember his name in the original Korean, and I'm honestly not sure I could pronounce it correctly anyway, so we're sticking with that. Daniel is fat, short, all-around untalented, and the victim of major bullying, as all teenage manhwa protagonists are. One day, he forces his overworked and underpaid mother to transfer him away to a new school and allow him to live alone so he can start his life anew. New place, same expletive. About to resign himself to his inescapable fate, he wakes up in the middle of the night to find that he's woken up in a new body. Theatrics aside, that's what happens. From Lord knows where, a second body appears that allows him to always be awake. When one body sleeps, he wakes up in the other, and this new one is tall, handsome, and athletic. Everything he wasn't. He decides to enroll in his new school with this body and restart for real this time. So far, so good. Interesting premise, something you'd want to see more of to see how it develops, and honestly, as top commenter and fellow YouTuber Sapphire Pyro would agree, the supporting characters aren't half bad at all, so why do I have a problem with it? Well, as the available metrics on Webtoon would suggest, I'm not the only one who thinks it fell off. You could argue that this is natural with something of its length, but around halfway through lookism's run, its popularity and readership declined. Fewer people reading it, leaving likes, or talking about it, and I am one of the people who walked away right around that point as well. Lookism follows Daniel's character arc, becoming more confident, accepting himself, making friends, standing up against bullies, and the whole bullied kid dream. Through this, there are plenty of moments I thought were pretty entertaining. The whole thing was meant to be a funny slice of life with a slow mystery B-plot and spread out fights for the occasional tension. Nothing revolutionary, but it had all the chemistry to keep readers interested and engaged through an overall pretty nifty experience. Definitely worth the time it took to read. The problem is that it was short-lived. Just as I can't expect you to watch videos I make talking about how the Miami Heat struggles have been bad for my mental health, lookism's manhwaga had no place expecting us to stay completely devoted to the story after it became something completely different from what we signed up for. 200 chapters. Through at least 200 chapters, lookism became a series of flashback arcs for the various side characters, and all of them were about gang wars and villain origin stories. Those were several years of serialization during which appearances by the main character were few and far between. I repeat, several years without the main character. The story 100% revolved around, and a complete tonal shift. I feel like the first on the rules of storytelling is that you should tell the story you tell people you will, but maybe it's just me who doesn't like when overnight a story I like stops being the story I liked and turns into something so starkly different that I can't even force myself to sit through it. Oh wait, it wasn't just me. The metrics say no one was happy about this, but because this is a webtoon and not a manga serializing in a magazine, you don't get punished for such poor behavior. I can think of so many stories that would have used these powers for good, but that isn't the case, and that probably adds to my dissatisfaction. Anyway, from here, everything I say would be some variation of the complaints I've already filed, so I'm going to move on to the next video now before I create more editing work for myself. If you read lookism, How did you feel about the shift I was complaining about? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, Kenjon out.